Hey gang, Hammerstill here. Okay, so the other day, Pride, Ram, and myself were divisioned. We ended up in an all Tier 10 match, and you can see that I pulled the Smolensk out of mothballs, primarily because, fairly long story, much shorter. I wasn't paying very close attention. They both wanted to play Tier 9 ships, but I would have sworn I saw one of them ready up at 10 in the division box, and so I spent a minute or so looking for a captain. The first Tier 10 ship that I found, because I've been trying to play premiums because I was a little low on credits. Anyway, was I think a Russian cruiser. So I said, well, okay, well, there's Smolensk. I'll throw that in. Now, I've played literally just a handful, not really even a complete handful of games in Smolensk, because my first couple games were just curiosity, probably like a lot of people. You know, I got the ship and I had read about and heard about some of the hype. My first couple games I just got blapped early. I didn't really understand how to play it. And then after that I did fairly well. And I felt a little bad because, you know, once I kind of figured out how to play it and had experienced others who had figured out how to play it, I realized this thing's it's kind of depressing to face. In a lot of cases. I mean, it's not that it can't be countered, because it can, but any of you who have been burned down to the waterline by a Smolensk or by the occasional Smolensk division understand what I'm saying. So, but because I thought these guys were waiting on me, I threw a captain in Smolensk. And here I am. You know, this seemed like a good location right here. We do have some enemy radar, a Worcester, a Moskva, but, you know, I can see the Moskva is way out there on the 9 line, so I didn't have to worry about him too much. And Worcester's radar is not long enough to really kind of dig me out of this little hidey hole. You'll notice I've got this thing set up for AA right now. Gives you some idea how long it's been since I've played it. When this game was over, I went back into my board, and even though I probably won't play it for another 3 or 4 months, switched it out to Hydro. And just to finish that story, since I chose a 10 with them when I had a 10, good to have friends. So what am I doing here? Well, you can see there's a little bit of a gap through which torpedoes might be thrown. And right here is where I realized, oh man, I don't have Hydro. Because I was looking at Holland and saying, oh, I bet he's going to throw some torps, I should hit Hydro. But nope. Of course, I really haven't done much here other than beat up on a Kaba a little bit. A little concerned that this Holland is so close, but I'm not. I was really kind of hoping that he and the Gearing might get out there and spot a little bit. And I think I typed something in the chat box about that here in a second. There's the Worcester. Yeah, the Hydro really would have come in handy here. Holland and Shimakaze back there. Now here come the torps. So it's just a question of, can I keep reversing fast enough to avoid whatever's coming. I was pretty sure Holland, if it had thrown torps this way, that they would have already been here. Yeah, could have guessed wrong, but I didn't. Yeah, there's the comment that I made in the chat box. So you can see Holland pushed up there, and you're going to see a lot of fire coming his way. And Gearing is continuing to push up there. Our Holland's in trouble. You can look at his hit points and the little green indicator bar there on the left side of the screen. And look at our Gearing. Down goes Gearing. So I was hoping those guys would spot for me, and to their credit, they did try, but that didn't really work out very well for anybody. And now I'm just going to murder a Holland. I'm spotted, of course, but just angling up to the Worcester, make sure I don't show him broadside, and I'll use the island and try and stay under cover. But Kleber poked out. I got just far enough behind that island there, directly behind my ship, to block line of sight, and it's time to fall back. But despite what might seemingly have been crazy positioning early, I was able to help take out 2 ships, and I guess you could argue that by asking those guys to spot, I got both of them killed. I don't feel like I did, but I understand some might. Yeah, yes, I could have stayed in that part and tried to finish capping it, but I didn't. I know that Kleber is here somewhere. And I didn't want to give him the center when we've got, well, now 2 ships, but our Holland was in the 2nd ring, although he just went out of the 2nd ring. So it looked to me like we were still going to get that anyway. And if I can secure this island and take it away from the Kleber, that's a definite win for our team. Gotta be a little careful here because I don't want to get caught by radar. Especially close to those 2. But I am detected. Somebody just opened up on me, you can see there. And I'm going to smoke up and hope like crazy not to get radared. I do still have 2 heals, so I'm not too worried about my hit points yet, although a couple salvos from Conqueror and Yamato that land home could finish me off. Can I get over the island? No. Because Kleber was really what I was after here. But that's fine. I'll just try and start some fires. Really need a fire and some torps. It's alright. Let's see what I can do over there before he radars. Alright, switch to the other thing I can see. Oh, Worcester's back up. Gotta make sure it's all prioritization, and I wish I had understood this much earlier, you know, in the game, the life of the game. But because I've got smoke and I'm relatively agile and have torpedoes on this ship, the big threat to me is Worcester, not the Conqueror. If I can hide from the Conqueror, I can't really hide from a radar cruiser. So I'm trying really hard to finish him off, and he knows it. And I lost him, so back to the Conqueror. He's not burning, so maybe I can get him burning. And there's Cabo ready to spot me. He's close enough that that's going to be a painful thing for him. Now it's time to go dark. Let's see if I can extricate myself from that situation. Okay, so that's another DD down on the enemy team. We've got one ship advantage, a cap advantage.
Неполадки устранены.
Can I stay in the center? No, I'm gonna have to keep running. So they've still got their Kleber, but he's not really a capping destroyer. And you can see he's in the outer ring at, Echo 8. So not too big a worry. You can see I'm using a heal there, and I've got one more after it gets done on cooldown. But I'm fairly low on hit points at this point. I've got a little over 1 million, well, just about 1.1 million potential damage, and that just comes of pushing in. Maybe a little too far, but I was able to get a little bit of work done in there. Enemy Conqueror's in trouble, enemy Yamato's in trouble. Moskva is pushing in, and you can see Kleber's over there going to be working kind of in tandem with him at this point. So our Holland is about to secure the center cap. We've got the second ring, and that's going to help expand our points lead. We're up by, what, 135 points. And see what I can do to help finish off Kleber. I didn't want to smoke because I want to maintain sight, and I might be the only able to get half my guns on him. I'm going to inch out a little bit farther. I can smoke at need, but I'm not currently targeted. And down he goes. Now I'm in radar range of the Moskva. So if he radars me, which is probably going to happen, I'm going to have to angle up and just hope that, his shell's over pen. There's the radar. You can see just raining shells on him, and I've got a lot of help over there. Now, he's behind an island to ram and our other Smolensk, but I think Pride can get guns on him, Yamato can get guns on him, Zhao can get guns on him, so he is under some withering fire. Now I've got 3 people targeting me, so I am going to start moving a little bit, just make it a little bit harder for people to land shells on me. And my goal here is just to try and help finish off Moskva and survive, which almost didn't. Okay, Moskva goes down. I have 959 hit points left, and I'm out of heals. So I will probably be of limited help for the remainder of the game. Now I'm looking at the positioning of our other Smolensk. He's got a lot more hit points. Now he's been working too. He's got two kills himself, but I'm hoping at this point that he'll kind of move up. And given the fact that they don't have any destroyers left, I'm really hoping to see our Yamato move up as well. And our Shima, he's still got a fair amount of hit points. He could afford to get seen, or how long Holland goes down there. But he's just, I think maybe a little concerned about getting blapped. And down goes our Conqueror. There's Pride, who did a great job. But Ram manages to finish off their Wooster, and we now have a 6-ship to 3-ship advantage and a huge points lead. At this point, it's not really mopping up, but it's fast approaching that. I can fire here even though I don't have really any hit points, because nobody in the enemy team can see me. You can see the Conqueror's outside of my firing range, so he can't see me, despite the fact that I'm in open water. And I'm just doing chip damage on Goliath, and Ram manages to just end him. So, mopping up. Now, why did I want to get this game out for people to see? It's because I think this game is a really good example of why so many people are not crazy about Smolensk being in the game, or really any of these Daka heavy HE spamming, sitting in smoke ships. I'm not militant about my opposition to Smolensk or ships like the Smolensk. I know a lot of people are, but I do really understand the point that some make when they say, hey, Belfast was removed from the game because you thought something that could spam HE and sit in smoke was overpowered. And now we have Smolensk, who is, this ship is arguably a super Belfast, because it's 16 guns, laser-like trajectories, decent fire chance, especially when you consider how many shells you're putting out. Your reload on this thing is insane. And you can just sit and smoke and just tear things apart. So I can see why people might argue that this was kind of a crazy money grab kind of choice for wargaming to make. Now I have to say, it is very fun to play, but I feel a little bit guilty when I do play it. And as I mentioned early on in this video, it would not have been a ship that I would have chosen if I wasn't feeling some pressure to get a ship in the division, get it ready so these guys could get into the game, because they were waiting on me. And then I come in and haven't played this thing literally in months, and come in and I'm definitely not a premier Unicum player or anything like that.
That's how it's done.
I'm decent, but you can see that a decent guy that hasn't played the ship in months was able to come in, push center, and although 140,000 damage is not spectacular, it's decent. Landed 481 shells. Started 9 fires. 1.34 million potential damage. You get the idea.